What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the TheVaultProScooters. Long time no see. I've missed you guys and I'm happy to be back. Today we're gonna be taking a look at a ton of new products. So this is gonna be an episode of what is new in scootering. For those of you who don't know, this is pretty much a series where we break down all the latest and greatest scooter parts, and we figured with 2025 right around the corner, we may as well go over the last bit of parts that have come out this year. So before we get into it, I need to talk to you guys really quick. We have seen all of your comments. We've been reading them. I know we haven't uploaded on this channel in a little while. We see the comments. You guys are asking for videos, and you guys are asking for custom builds, and I'm here to let you know, we hear it. We hear you, and we're coming back. So stay tuned, and without anything else, let's just get back into the what's new. So for this what's new, there is a ton of product that we have to go over. Some of it I might skim through, some of it I might elaborate on a little bit more than others. But if you want to learn more about the parts that I'm about to show you, check out the website. There's even more information. Without further ado, let's get into the first part of this video, which is actually gonna be close to my heart because it's Vault. For those of you guys who are fans of the Vault, you know that we make our own tie bars. We have had a different Y bar in the past. It was a different shape, but this is the new and improved Y bar. I know you guys at home are probably saying that looks like a tilt sentry bar, and you wouldn't be wrong. It does resemble that Y bar shape that a lot of brands are making nowadays. However, these are titanium. As far as I know, nobody makes this shape bar in titanium. I could be wrong. Drop a comment if I'm wrong. I'll take it if I'm wrong. I love this shape, and seeing it as a tie bar is even cooler. There is no back sweep on these bars, as you can see from this angle. They're just straight back, normal bars, but the shape is definitely improved on from the last one. They come in raw, as you guys can see right here, and we also made them in black because you can never go wrong with black bars, right? All right, let me bust out the laptop for specs. All right, so spec-wise for the TV Y bar, these guys come 27.5 inches tall by 24 inches wide. Like I said, they feature the Y bar shape. They come in standard or oversized. They do not have a slit, so they're the same as all of our tie bars, but those are the specs, just in case you guys were wondering. And I guess while I have you guys here, we'll weigh them. We'll weigh them. I know you guys wanna know. And I'm gonna read all the comments, and there's gonna be like a million comments asking why we didn't weigh them. So we're just gonna get it over with here. Oh. Okay, 1 pound, 15 ounces, in case anybody was wondering. While we're on the trend of tie bars, I'm just giving you a fair warning, a lot of our new stuff is gonna be tie bars. We also have the two-tone bars. If you guys do remember, we did these originally, but they were half black in the front, half raw on the back. These guys are split right down the middle. So you have black on one side, raw on the other. You have the embossed Vault logo on the front and the back. I don't know why we did it on the front and the back, but we did it on the front and the back. So it doesn't matter which way your bars are, you could have the Vault logo. So these are sick. I definitely like these better than the other ones just because the split color is a lot more visible no matter what. The ones that were raw on the front and black on the back, it's kind of hard to see. However, it's all personal preference. I just like these ones more. But these are now available. Same price as our normal tie bars and standard oversized. Same specs as well, 27.5 by 24. We're gonna weigh them. The weight gods are here. Wait for it. Wait for it. Oh no. Will it stand up this way? Oh, that was way easy. I should have just done that from the start. All right, two-tone tie bars coming in at 1 pound, 14.8 ounces. So a tad bit lighter than the Y bar. However, less material, makes sense. But two-tone tie bars, now available, guys. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we have more titanium bars for you. However, these are just our classic TV tie bars. We now have them available in colors, guys. So no longer do your tie bars need to just be black or raw. You can get red titanium T-bars here. We also have purple, my personal favorite. If you guys know, I love this color specifically, is amazing. I don't know how good it looks on camera, but in person, this color is incredible. All of these colors are incredible. But these are the same TV titanium T-bars that we've sold in the past. Same specs as the two-tone ones that I just showed you. 27.5 tall, 24 wide, standard or oversized, but in the beautiful colors. After purple, we also have a blue. We know a lot of you guys like blue and blue parts. You have the Vault logo, of course, on all of the bars. These ones are only on the front though, not the back. But something about these tie bars and colors, they're just so much cooler. I don't know what it is. And finally, we have green. So if you guys want to add some color to your setup and you're already in the market for some tie bars, I cannot recommend enough that you guys check out our tie bars in the limited edition colorways. I don't know how long these are gonna be in stock for, so with Christmas right around the corner, you better add these to your list now. Links for these will be down below, but more so just wanted to make sure you guys were aware that they're even a thing, because I haven't really seen anybody making colored tie bars yet, and we might be the first ones to be doing it. So if you want them, go get them. All right, and before we move on, if you guys were wondering what the weight is for these, it's the same as the two-tone bar. So the oversized titanium T-bar at the full size is gonna come in at 1 pound, 14 ounces, just in case you were wondering. Well, that's pretty much it for the Vault section of this video. However, we do have a few more things that I wanna make sure you're aware of. Vault apparel, hoodies, t-shirts, we got vests. We got plenty of stuff on the website right now. So if you guys do want to support the Vault, you don't really have tie bar money, which is totally understandable. Pick up a hoodie, you can pick up a t-shirt, a beanie, whatever you want, but we have those all available on the website as well. So there's my sellout for the video. All right, that pretty much covers everything from the Vault. So let's move on to the next brand, which is gonna be Aztek. All right, so Aztek has had a very busy year for 2024. They have released a ton of new product. Not only did they release the Pandemonium V2 and the Pandemonium V2 box, they've been on a roll this year dropping new product, and they wanted to end 2024 with an absolute bang, and they kind of did it. So I want to introduce you guys to the new lightest wheel in the world, the brand new Aztek Atlas wheel. From first glance, it just looks like a scooter wheel with really thin spokes. Doesn't sound too crazy. I'm telling you right now, holding this wheel, as somebody who's done the lightest custom build 2 or 3 times at this point, these are light. If you were holding a Honeycore and you were holding this, you would definitely feel the difference. I think one huge contributing factor to why these wheels are so light is right here on the inside. So I'm gonna have Ruben try to get a close-up of this to show you guys. There's actually a ton, and I mean a ton of material cut out on the inside of these wheels. So you can see right through the wheel into the hub of it where the bearings sit, and it's insane. How Aztek has managed to remove all of this material while also keeping this wheel strong blows my mind. How they do it, I have no idea. Kevin DeMay, you're insane. But these wheels look great. The ones that I'm holding right now are the 110 by 24 millimeter version. They do come in a bigger size, which I'll show you in a sec. The urethane rating on the Atlas wheels is 88A. They do come with pre-installed bearings, and these are also sold individually. So if you want to pick them up, make sure to add 2 to your cart and not 1. So let's talk about weight. I said that these are the lightest wheels in the world, and I think it's time to actually weigh them and confirm. So on the website, Aztek is saying 6.3 ounces per wheel. And if you guys do a little bit of math, that means that both wheels come out to under a pound. So if you had 2 of these on your scooter, you're not even adding a pound to your scooter, which is kind of crazy, But let me grab the scale. Let's bust it out. Putting the Atlas wheel on. Okay, guys. I don't want to be the police here, but, oh wait, no, I lied. It said 6.3 ounces. Okay, 6.3 ounces. That's what I'm getting on the scale. That's what the website is saying. So Aztek is on point. These are 100% the lightest wheels you can get right now. I will say, this is nothing against Aztek. If you are a heavier rider, or you're a rider who blows through wheels and breaks products very easily, I would probably stay away from these wheels unless you're like, you got money to spend and you're totally cool with blowing through wheels, because these are light, but they're also making compromises to make them light. So these are by no means the strongest wheels on the market, but they are 100% the lightest wheels on the market. And I just want to make that clear. As far as colors go, here's black. So black urethane, black core. We also have the silver. This one looks really good too, I'm not gonna lie. We also have neo blue. So this is the color that Aztek introduced with the Pandemonium V2. It's nice to know that they have a wheel to match it. It's kind of like neochrome, but no pinks and purples. It's primarily like blue and yellows with a little bit of pink. It's really cool, really, really cool. And finally, we have Aztek's new color, which is Nebula. You could explain this wheel and this color in your own words, but the best way I can sum it up is paint splatter meets hydro dip meets anodizing. I don't even know how to explain it, but it's like a paint splatter hydro dip combination, and it's really cool. From what I have seen, I think all of these wheels are different too. So if you buy 2 of these, the pattern isn't gonna be exactly the same, which I like, because you're gonna have a wheel that's paint splattered. It would be kind of a bummer if they all look the same, right? So if you guys want something with a little bit more color, a little bit more pop than just the traditional colors that Aztek has to offer, definitely take a look at Nebula. Those are the 110s. I did say that they come in a bigger size as well, and it wouldn't be Ethic if they didn't drop these in 12 standard. So here it is. This is the Atlas wheel 12 standard. So instead of 110 by 24, you have 115 by 30, and you have the 12 standard bearing. So for the 12 standard Atlas wheel, of course it comes in the same colors. So here's black, here's the silver as well. Here's neo blue, and here's the 12 standard Nebula wheel. And we will weigh the 12 standard version as well. 8.2 ounces. So the 12 standard version of the Atlas wheel, even if you have 2 of them on your scooter, you're like just over a pound, which is absolutely insane for wheels this big, but also this light. So there you guys have it. There's the weight and everything you need to know about the Atlas wheels. Now you know why they're so light. I'm sure there's a ton of other reasons why they're light, but at least the biggest thing that I can see is thin spokes and all that cutout on the inside of the wheel. So yeah, you guys can see on the 12 standard wheel, the cutouts on the inside of the wheel are so much bigger and visible. So hopefully you guys can see it, but these wheels are insane. I've never seen a scooter wheel like it, and I don't know if this is the direction that light wheels are gonna go, but Ethic has definitely done something crazy here. All right, I'm just gonna scoot all these over there because we do have one more Ethic product that we need to go over, and I know a lot of you guys are very, very excited for it, and that is the Sylph V2 clamp. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. I can remember the Ethic Sylph clamp being insane. And to this day, it's still one of the lightest, if not the lightest clamp, or at least the lightest double clamp that you can get. And did I know that they were gonna make a V2? I figured eventually they would, but here it is. This is the new and improved Sylph clamp. So they took everything that they learned from the first one and made it even better. Big differences on this, gonna be the weight. Second big difference that you guys might be able to notice, and if you're keeping up with Ethic's parts nowadays, you'd be familiar, is these are no longer Allen wrench bolts. You guys hear that? Just wanna make it clear. These are not Allen wrench bolts. If you have an Allen wrench, it will not work on this clamp. If you buy this clamp right now, anywhere, from any scooter shop, and you don't have one of Ethic's hex tools that they sell individually, you will not be able to use this clamp. It's not a bad thing, it's just something that I want you guys to be aware of. The Pandemonium V2, the Mero V3, those forks and decks do use the hex bolts, but they include the tool. The clamp does not come with the tool. So do not buy this clamp if you do not have the tool, or if you are gonna buy this clamp, buy the tool with it. We'll have it linked down below. It's like $5 or $10, but you will need it. This clamp is very, very light. I don't know how much it weighs yet, we'll weigh it, but these clamp bolts are insanely light. I don't have them with me right now because I was too lazy to go grab them, but they actually make titanium replacement clamp bolts for this clamp. Sylph V2 does come in standard and oversized like the previous one. I'm holding the oversized one right here. It still comes in 4 colors. First up is black, beautiful, beautiful. Next up is raw or silver. You can see it says Sylph V2 here on the side. It's pretty nice. Of course, you have to have the neo blue to match the deck and the new wheels. And I don't know if the camera can pick this up. The neo blue clamp comes with neochrome bolts. How do you like that, Aztek? Who needs red bolts when you could have neochrome bolts, am I right? And the final colorway is red. Here it is, looking nice. Okay, I think it's time to weigh it. Sylph V2, I don't actually have the standard clamp with me, but obviously you guys can just take into account, if this is the heaviest version of the clamp, the standard one will probably weigh a little bit less. So let's throw it on. Wow, a whopping, ladies and gentlemen, a whopping 1.2 ounces. So while doing a little bit more research, I've realized that the clamp bolts that actually come in the Sylph V2 are already titanium. So the other bolts that I was saying are just aftermarket, or replacement, if you need to buy new ones. But that means that if you buy the Sylph V2, these are titanium clamp bolts. Like I mentioned, these guys come in standard or oversized. They do not come with the shim. So if you're planning to ride oversized bars, buy the oversized one. If you're planning to ride the standard size bars, buy the standard clamp. You cannot get a shim to fit in this. I mean, you might be able to get a shim to fit in this. I will say though that the gap between the clamp here on the back isn't the biggest, which means that this clamp is made to be ridden with bars that are its size. So I would not recommend riding this with the shim. I would just ride this with the correct size bar you have and you'll be good to go. If you're having any issues where you're tightening up this clamp and this whole back plate is closing and your bars are still spinning, it's probably because you're not riding it right or you're not riding it set up correctly. So keep that in mind. But Silph V2 is here, same with the Atlas wheels. So now we have the lightest wheel and we have the lightest clamp, and the Pandemonium V2 is the lightest deck, and I think the Mero V3 is the lightest fork. So like I said, it has been quite a year for Aztek, so let's give them a little bit of a round of applause for all the engineering and for pushing the sport forward. But these are super sick products. All the links will be down below, and go get them. So I thought the Silph clamp was the last Aztek part, but there's actually one more, and that is the brand new Dildagast V2 bar. If you guys are fans of Aztek, you definitely have seen the Dildagast bar. It was kind of like their staple bar for a while, and the new and improved version is finally here. So let's dive into the specs. Just like a lot of the Aztek bars that are available now, the Dildagast does come in 3 different sizes. Starting off, these bars come in a 26.4 tall version. They also come in a 28.4 tall version. And finally, they come in a 30.4 tall version. So depending on how tall of a rider you are, you can pick whatever ones suit you the best. You could even have them cut down or modified from us just to dial them in a little bit more, but they do come in 3 different size options for you guys to choose from. As far as colors go, they do come in 3 colors. First up is Raw, which is the ones that I'm holding right now. Pretty nice, pretty classic. All right, next color up is gonna be the Black Mirror. So this is like a glossy black. And there is one more color. Unfortunately, I don't have it with me right now, but it's more of a matte black. So they have Black, Black Mirror, and Raw. This is Black Mirror. Just imagine this bar, but in matte black. As far as the improvements go for the Dildagast V2, they definitely reevaluated the bar, figured out how to keep the original shape, but pretty much bring it to the new age and update it. And that's exactly what they did. So from what I've read, Aztek has made improvements on the welding process of these bars. They are still double butted, but they have found a way to make it even lighter than it was originally. So these bars are stronger than the V1, they are lighter than the V1, and they look like the V1, except there are a couple subtle things to tell you that these are the V2s. First up, I don't know if you're even gonna be able to see this, Ruben. There's an Aztek logo here on the front of the bar. Pretty cool. But if we flip it around, it says II. And I'm not the smartest individual, but II could also mean 2, right? 2? Dildagast V2? So if you look at these bars, you'll be able to see it. You'll know it's a V2 off rip, but Dildagast V2 now available. All right, moving on from Aztek, let's take a look at some new stuff from Proto and River, starting off with my personal favorite of the new drop. We got the J Money signature sliders. I know a lot of you guys are aware that Proto doesn't do a lot of signature stuff. They have done signature stuff, but when they give a rider a sig wheel, it's got great significance in the brand. So the fact that Money has his own wheel through Proto is insane. J Money is from Las Vegas, so of course you have the Las Vegas skyline here, another callback to a lot of the previous signature Proto wheels. I've always been a big fan of the skyline on the core, so I'm hyped to see it come back here. You have J Money's name here as well on the core. I believe that's on both sides. But the color, green on green. If you guys are a fan of the Emerald Rivers, the green on green, you're gonna be a fan of these because it's practically the same color, but these bad boys pop. J Money having a green Proto wheel with the Vegas skyline just feels so appropriate, and I couldn't be more hyped. As far as specs go, these are just Proto slider wheels. They are 110 millimeter by 24 millimeter, pre-installed Proto murder bearings, if I remember correctly. It's been a little while. Pretty sure those are Proto murder bearings. They are sold in pairs, so you get 2 of these bad boys for like 90 bucks, and Proto makes arguably the best wheels in the world. So if you guys are interested in supporting J Money, another Vault rider and Proto rider, pick up his wheels, because once these are gone, who knows if they're ever coming back. Next up, not Proto, River. We have our friend from down under, Joel Ingold. The signature River Glide wheels are here. These are navy blue on silver, giving Dylan Casson tilt wheel vibes. I really like the addition of like the gold pad printing, ties in with the gold bearings and stuff like that perfectly. If I get close enough, you guys could probably see the etching on the core itself. It looks like, is that a whale? I think it's a whale. Yeah, it's definitely a whale. All right, I don't know if whales have significance in Australia. but the boys got whales all around the wheel. It's a little subtle because the etching is in white on a silver wheel, but it's definitely there. And these are sick. These are river glides, so very similar to the Proto, 110 by 24 millimeter, pre-installed flash flood river bearings. River's made by Proto. Proto wheels are great. You know you can count on River. So if you guys want to support Joel or J Money, check the links. So before we move on, the website says that the J Money wheels should weigh 1.15 pounds. So I think it's time we verify. And remember that this weight is gonna go across the board. So every Proto slider is gonna weigh this amount. Same with Joel's, just so you guys know. But let's weigh one wheel. Actually, we'll weigh both wheels. Both wheels come out to a whopping 1 pound, 1.9 ounce. So we weren't too far off. I don't even know if it might convert perfectly, but there's the weight for the Protos. And now let's quickly weigh Joel's wheels. What we got? Wow, dude, 1 pound, 1.8 ounce. All right, I think that's it for 110 wheels. We quickly need to jump into 30 wides. Most of you guys are aware that River is now making 30 wide wheels. So they used to be this, and they also make this. So they're the big boys, 115 by 30 wide. And they originally dropped these in black on black. They were the Shadow Glides, and they have since released the Blizzard Rapids, so this white on silver, in the 30 wide as well. So I did not grab the black on black ones because I figured most of you guys are aware of those, but these just did come out. So if you guys want black on black, those are available. But if you're a fan of white wheels, the River 30 wides now come in white. Like I mentioned, 115 millimeters by 30 millimeters, pre-installed bearings, sold in pairs, and yes, we will weigh them. Let's take the pair, put it on the scale. 1 pound, 6.7 ounces. So obviously a bit heavier than the 110 by 24, but you have a lot more wheel here. And if you guys are fans of 30 wide wheels, you definitely need to give these a try. If you've already ridden river wheels in the past, and now you're a fan of 30 wides, I can only imagine what these feel like. It's gotta be heaven for a scooter wheel. But 30 wide rivers, now available. Moving on. So we do have a few new sheets of grip tape from Hella Grip, so let's go over those really quickly. It's been a while since we've had new artwork, so I'm really hyped that Hella Grip has pulled through with a lot of new stuff. First sheet up is gonna be the brand new wobble graphic. As you can see, it still says Hella Grip, but in this really, really cool, unique font. I definitely am a fan of it. This is blue. Next up is magenta, same graphic, just in magenta. And finally, it also comes in green. So, Hella Grip wobble grip tape, super, super cool, super unique. Feel free to pick up a sheet if you guys want, but now let's get to this. First SIG sheet up, we got the Dylan Morrison signature Hella Grip. It's been a long time in the making, and I'm very excited it's finally here. I do like how he went with the barbed wire theme. As you can see, it says Hella Grip, but in barbed wire, which I think is pretty cool myself. I should quickly note that all these new sheets of Hella Grip, and in the past, have been 24 inches long by 7 inches wide, just to make sure that it can cover all of the decks on the market. So, in case you were wondering, these are big sheets of grip tape. Final sheet of grip tape. This is one that, once again, I'm very excited about because it's a Vault Team rider, but Jake Swarnson's signature Hella Grip, the classic Jake Swanson Hella Grip, is back. I don't know how long it's back for, but the classic red on white is here. So if you guys are a fan of Jake, or you're just a fan of this specific colorway in Hella Grip, feel free to get it now. I'm not too sure if all of these colorways are limited edition, they're only doing them for a few, or if they're gonna stay for a while. But the fact that Jake's grip tape is back and Dylan has a new sheet is so sick. So support your favorite scooter rider and go buy their grip tape. Moving on from Hella Grip, it's time to finally take a look at all the new stuff from Drone. And I don't mean all the new stuff, I mean specifically the new decks, because these are the most relevant products that have come out and specifically what I want to talk about. So in front of me, we have 3 Drone decks. All of them are signature decks. You guys might be aware of some of them. You might be aware of all of them. You might not be aware of any of them. And that's okay, because Austin is here to teach you everything. So we're gonna start off with the first one, this gray one. This right here is the Jake B. Smith signature Drone Nexus 1 deck. The Nexus 1 deck is Drone's newest aftermarket deck. Once again, these are signature models. So the Nexus 1 is the deck that's not a signature model, but 6.5, 22 or 23 long Really, really phenomenal deck. So the fact that these are built off of the Nexus One, great sign. Here is the top of the deck. You can see the cutout here on the top for the Nexus One. Here's the bottom graphic once again. Jake B. Smith coming through with a phenomenal signature graphic. Big fan of it. As far as the color goes, it's like a gray, like a matte gray. You can also see the graphic here on the top of the deck. Obviously, this won't be visible unless you're riding clear grip tape or something like that, but it's a nice nod. Moving up the head tube, you can see the shape of the head tube, the curvature, all the cutouts, the drone logo. Really, really good looking head tube. So I think I'm done admiring the look of the deck. Let's run through specs. So, Jake B. Smith's signature Nexus One deck comes 6.5 inches wide by 22 inches long. It does feature an 84-degree head tube angle. When it comes to wheel compatibility for Jake's deck, the Nexus One is compatible with pretty much every wheel size. You can ride everything from 100 mil up to 125, anything from 24 mil wide up to 30 wide, up to 12 standard. All of the spacers and everything are included in the box, and Drone has gone to great extents to making sure that all of the wheel conversion on the back end of this deck is as easy and straightforward to go as possible. So hopefully you guys won't have any issues assembling this deck because, like I said, they went the extra mile to make sure that it was easy for you guys. While we're here, you guys can see these deck ends. I'm not gonna lie, they're pretty cool. The way that they're like angled and they fit in the back end of the deck here on the corner is really, really flush. It's very sleek. And I like that the dropouts are rounded because it's gonna make doing 5.0s and stuff a lot easier. Give you a lot more room to move around when you're in those grinds. So it's nice to see. But that is it for the Jake B. Smith deck. Like I said, 6.5, 22, 84-degree head tube angle. You can ride all the wheels that you could ever imagine. And this bad boy is light. I will weigh all of these once we're done going over them, but you guys will see, not a heavy deck at all. Moving on to the Ansgar Kroger Signature Nexus One deck. So fair warning, these are all Nexus One decks, so I'm gonna stop repeating that. This is Ansgar's signature deck, and you can see right away, he went with a completely different color than Jake B. Smith. Jake went with gray, he went with like an army green, and I am a huge fan of it. Off camera, when I pulled this deck out of the box today, I was like, wow, this is a great color. And I really hope it comes through on the camera because this color is great. But take a look at the graphic. Some really, really cool graphics here, some artwork. On the side of the deck, you can see it says his name, just so you, friendly reminder of whose deck this is. You have the same cutouts here on the top of the deck. No logo, so I'm assuming that's just something that Jake wanted. Same head tube. Same dropouts, same wheel compatibility. Everything about this deck is exactly the same, except for the color and the artwork. So as far as specs go, the only major difference between this deck and Jake's deck is the length. Jake's deck was 22, this guy is 23, so 6.5 by 23. If you're a fan of longer decks, you can go with this one. If you're a fan of 22, go with our boy Jake, because a little bit smaller. All right, time to move to the big dog. This right here is Kai Saunders, AKA Saundezy's signature drone Nexus One deck. For anybody laying under a rock, Saundezy has left native and his new home is with Drone. And Drone has gone in. Not only did they reward him with the signature complete, but they also rewarded him with a signature deck. And here it is, guys. Look at it, take it in. Specs wise, this is the exact same deck as the last two that I just showed you. However, this one comes in black and features Kai's signature graphic here on the bottom. Very similar graphic to what he had on his native deck, but it definitely hits home for him. And I don't blame him for wanting to have all the callbacks to his hometown and stuff on his deck. So no shame there. Still a super, super sick graphic and not a bad art piece. Another cool thing to note about Kai's deck is it actually comes in two different sizes. No matter what, you're gonna get the 6.5 inches in width, but you can choose between 22 or 23. So the other two only kind of came in those specific sizes. This guy does come in either of the two. So if you like Kai and you want the 22, go for it. If you need the 23, it's there for you as well. Same cutouts on the top of the deck. This one does actually say Saundezy on the side of the deck. I don't know if you guys can see that. The other one said Nexus One, but this one says Saundezy, just to hit home a little bit more on whose signature deck this is. It's pretty cool too to even see here how it says Drone X Saundezy. It's like more of a collaborative effort than just like a signature product through a brand. This is Kai's brand under Saundezy collabing with Drone. So just feels a little bit more special, and having the Saundezy cutout here or embossed logo here on the head tube just hits that home a little bit more. Big fan of this deck, big fan of Kai. So congratulations, Kai. Drone, you guys killed it. And for anybody watching that wants this deck, these will not last. So buy one fast, because these are popular, I'm telling you right now. Really quickly, we will weigh the drone decks. And of course, I don't have both sizes of the Saundezy deck with me right now, so I'm only gonna be able to weigh one. Just confirmed, the guy that I'm holding right here is the 23-inch long version, so obviously take it with a grain of salt. The 22 is gonna be slightly lighter. But let's go ahead and weigh the 23-inch Saundezy deck. 4 pounds, 7.4 ounces for a 6.5 by 23-inch long deck. I'm assuming all these other decks are gonna weigh similar. So let me grab Jake's deck. Same guy. 4 pounds, 7.1, 7.2 ounces. Obviously Jake's deck is a 22, so this is what I imagine the 22-inch Kai Saunders deck will weigh, because it's the exact same deck, but this is a 22. So 4 pounds, 7.2 ounces. One more to go, let's check it out. Would you look at that? 4 pounds, 7.1 or 7.2 ounces. So consistent across the board, and now you guys know. So do not comment asking how much these weigh. All right, with drone out of the way, I think it's time to move on to North. And I hope you guys are still here. This video is gonna be slightly longer. You guys have been asking for longer content, and there's a lot of product to talk about. So if this video is a little bit longer, thank you guys for bearing with us. Feel free to skip around to whatever section you feel like is more for you, but regardless, we appreciate you watching. So let's move on to North. So this ties back into what I mentioned earlier in the video. There is a ton of other North product that has come out. There's Signal V3 wheels, I believe there's new bars, might even be a new fork, and I would love to have had that all with me right now. But at the time of filming this video, we're out of stock. So I didn't want to skip over all of the North stuff in this video. We do, however, have the Unity deck in stock, which is the latest and greatest deck from North. And I know there's a lot of hype around this deck. I know a lot of you guys like this deck, and you probably want to know more. So all the other stuff is there. Feel free to look at it on the website, and it will come back in stock. But for the sake of this video, I wanted to include the Unity deck. So here it is, North Unity deck. I believe this is replacing the Willow deck and the Horizon deck. I could be wrong. I think this is more so a replacement for the Willow, and a lot of people have been loving this deck. So here's the bottom of it. It's a fairly simple looking deck, but it doesn't mean that it's simple. There's a lot of intricate design work being done here, and a lot of things being taken into account to make sure that this deck looks good and rides good. So here's the black option, and here's the raw. Graphic on the raw is a little bit harder to see, but it's definitely there. It's a little bit more subtle, but the exact same deck, pretty sweet. And now we can talk about specs. These bad boys come 6.5 inches wide by either 22.5 or 23 inches long. So not too much wiggle room, but if you're more of a 22.5 guy, there you go. They do not disclose the head tube angle, so I don't know what the head tube angle is. And when we make our way back to the back end of the deck, we can talk wheel compatibility. This bad boy can fit up to 125mm wheels with the brake installed, and you can ride anything up to 24 or 30mm wide wheels. You cannot ride 12 standard, but you can ride 24 or 30 wide, and anything up to 125. So fair bit of coverage there. When we take a look at the bottom of the deck, you can also see the big cutout here in the middle to reduce some weight. It's actually like convexed in here as well, so this won't be catching onto any sort of ledge or rail. You guys will be good to go there. Like I said, on the black, you can also see the artwork a little bit more, but big fan of it. Here on the front, we have a nice big cutout to reduce weight as well. And you know, we're a big fan of putting stickers on our forks here. So if you put any stickers on your fork, it'll show it when you spin your bars, which is pretty nice. You also have a stamp on the bottom of the deck here. It says Unity. This specific one is the 6.5 by 23. So it's nice to know as well. And of course, with this top mounted brake, you guys should be able to ride, I guess, any other brake that you want. Anything that's top mounted, you should be good to go to put on this deck as well. You can also see the dropouts here, pretty nice. Nice and rounded, plenty of 50 and 5.0 space. Gonna be locking you in nice. That's pretty much all I have to say about this deck. It's just elegant, it's simple, it's clean, but it's also very complex. It's a great deck. If you guys are a fan of North and you liked the Willow deck, you like the Horizon deck or any of the prior decks, there's absolutely no reason why you shouldn't like the Unity deck. Y-Dog actually upstairs just bought this deck. He took off his Aztek deck and he bought this one, and from what I've heard, he's absolutely loving it. Shout out to North, shout out to the Unity deck. You know what I'm gonna say? Now available, baby. Before we move on from the Unity deck, let's weigh it, and I only have one size, so remember the 22.5 is gonna weigh slightly less than the 23. Let's throw this guy on. 4 pounds, 10 ounces. There you have it. And the raw one's the exact same. But 4 pounds, 10 ounces for the biggest version of the Unity deck. 22.5 will weigh a little bit less, but still a pretty light deck for how big it is. Moving on, catchphrase of the day. It's time to take a look at what Aztek has to offer. Aztek released a few new things this year, so let's run through it. First thing up, first part up is gonna be the Europa 2 deck. This Europa 2 is the exact same deck as the Austin Coates signature Europa 2, except it's not a signature deck, it's just a normal color. So this is what Aztek is calling Black Magic, baby. Not to be confused with the camera company, Black Magic, but either way. This is the colorway. It's more of like a gloss black instead of like the gunmetal trans black that the Europa 2 was originally. So if you were a fan of the Coates deck and you want to get another one, you're just gonna buy this deck. So I'm not gonna run through all the specs. We already have a different What's New where we kind of ran through everything, and all the specs for this deck are on the website. More so just wanted to make you guys aware that it is now available again, but just in black. Same deck, same specs, same convex, just a new colorway. Keeping on the same energy as the Europa 2, we also have a new color in the Ember SCS and the Circa Fork. So this is what Aztek is calling the Circa LE and the Ember LE. These are just limited edition colorways, and this is Zircon Sand. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. But this color is, it's a bit of a combination. It's kind of got some yellows in it. It kind of looks like green. It kind of looks like gray, depending on the light that it's in, but it's definitely a cool color and very unique. So if you guys are a fan of unique and limited edition colorways, then this is gonna be right up your alley. Like I said, the color does look a bit different depending on the lighting, but it's definitely a combination between like a yellow, gray, green combination. So there you have it. But same Circa 3 fork, same Ember SCS, just 2 brand new colorways for you guys to be aware of. And we had to bring a complete in. We're keeping on the same energy. Nothing special or new about this scooter except for the colorway. But this is the beloved Aztek Architect Pro scooter, one of the most affordable street completes you can buy that comes with SCS and everything like that. However, brand new colorway, Zircon Sand as well. So this is the same color as the clamp and fork that I just showed you, but in a complete. So you got the Zircon Sand deck, fork, clamp, and bar, and it looks great. Everything else kind of being black or red pops. I'm actually a really big fan of the red hardware on this color. I think it does wonders, and you still got the Aztek Architect 2 wheels here as well. This complete, I've gone over in very, very fine detail in previous What's News, so we'll link that card up here if you guys want to learn more about this scooter specifically. This is just a reminder of the brand new colorway. Here's the bottom, so sick. But this complete is an absolute bang for the buck, so if you guys are looking to get a street complete, cannot ignore the Architect. And speaking about street completes, we have to talk about the Siren. So once again, same exact scooter as the previous Siren, just in the brand new Zircon Sand colorway. So if you guys want to take a look at it, it's a cool color. I'm a big fan of it. Like I said, it looks gray in a lot of angles. So at first glance, this might just look gray to you guys, but I promise you, it's not. It's Zircon Sand. Here's the bottom of this guy. Siren logo. Beautiful, beautiful. But if you guys are looking to buy a Siren, here's the brand new colorway. All right, with Aztek out of the way, I think it's time to finally move into the last brand of this video, which is gonna be Envy. So I gotta grab all this Envy stuff, but before I go, look at all this stuff over here. Come on guys, look at the minefield of scooter parts. We got tie bars and drone decks everywhere. So I gotta be very careful. Dang, what do we do first? All right, first product of this video for Envy is gonna be their TS Pro trampoline scooter. This product, we have a full video showing you guys how to build it, how it works, all the specs, all the colors. But this is just a friendly reminder that these even exist, because I'm sure a lot of you guys that are gonna watch this video might not even know. But Envy has a trampoline scooter now. This guy is the bigger version. It comes in 2 sizes. You can pick a 6 wide or a 7.5 wide. Yes, you heard me right. 7.5 inches wide for your trampoline scooter. And look at it. Look at how wide it is. It's ginormous. But to be honest with you, for a trampoline scooter, this makes complete sense. This is just a giant piece of foam. So it's very light already. So having it be bigger just gives you more surface to land on. It makes grabbing the tricks or catching your tricks easier. And if you already have a trampoline scooter, I'm sure this trampoline scooter will be leagues ahead of what you have already, because Envy has gone to great extents to make sure that this is the trampoline scooter. And from what I can see, it definitely is. I'm not gonna go into all the nitty-gritties, but you can see that there is an actual scooter headset right here. I'm not talking about just like some bearings or some metal rubbing up. This is a legitimate scooter headset, bearings in there. So these bars spin like a real scooter. It's gonna feel really, really good. And you could even undo these 2 bolts, pull this off, throw on any of your bars that you have at home. So if you wanna run Sentry bars on your trampoline scooter for whatever reason, there ain't nothing stopping you. So I'm not gonna go into any further detail. Like I said, trampoline scooters are huge right now, and Envy honestly has the best one on the market. So if you guys are interested, check out the links down below, 6 wide or 7 wide, and honestly, just endless fun. Endless fun if you have a trampoline and you're interested in scootering. So check them out down below. And friendly reminder, we do have an in-depth video about these trampoline scooters. So if you're itching for more, click that link right there or down below in the description. Next up from Envy is gonna be their brand new colorway in the Omen SCS. So Omen SCS primarily just came in black, chrome, and neochrome before. Now we have this paint splatter colorway, and I'm a big fan of it. I like that the paint splatter is like black on silver. It's just a nice color combination, and it honestly just looks really, really good on this Omen SCS. I'm a big fan of it, and I like that I didn't see this coming. I didn't think Envy was gonna drop anything like it. So when I saw it, I was like, I gotta put it in this video. You guys have to see it, because I didn't know it existed, and if I didn't know it existed, I'm sure a lot of you guys didn't know it existed. So here it is, brand new Envy Omen SCS in their new colorway. That was the calm before the storm. Now it's time to talk about the big dog. Oh, okay. The Envy AOSv6. This is the latest and the greatest that Envy has to offer for their aftermarket street decks. And let's keep it a buck here. Let's keep it 100 here. This deck right here, comparing this deck right here to the previous Envy deck, this is leagues ahead. Envy has definitely got their ear to the ground, and they hear what people are saying that they want for a street deck and what they wanted Envy specifically to improve on. And they listened. Off first glance, I can already tell you that the whole extrusion here, the bottom of the deck, is so much thinner and streamlined for decks nowadays. I know on the Prodigy X, they introduced the new extrusion, and it looks like they kind of built off of it for this deck right here and expanded off of it, made it even better. So you can see that the extrusion is a lot thinner than their previous decks, and that's gonna contribute to a lot of the weight that this deck is shaving off. So that's nice to see. Here on the bottom, AOSv6 in the holographic pattern. Very, very cool. Very Envy. They do a lot of this holographic stuff, so I like to see it here as well. Squad. This is the squad deck. Like to see it. And for anybody that's wondering, this is the deck that a lot of Envy riders have been riding. Low-key, Jonathan Peroni has been teasing this deck a little bit, and from what I've talked to him about, this deck is great. He's in love with it, and that man knows how to scooter, so if he says it's good, I trust him. Moving back to the head tube, this is where a lot of the improvements and changes come. This head tube is, I don't even know how to explain it. It's like this head tube resembles the previous head tubes. Like it looks like an Envy head tube, but it also looks completely new. I don't know how they did that, but that's good work. So on the inside of the head tube, you can see it's completely cut out. Envy head tubes usually are completely solid and hollow on the inside, but you can see on this new deck, they literally went as far as they could to reduce weight. So it is completely cut out here in the middle and hollow. You have the Envy logo here on the head tube as well. Really big fan of that. And you have even more cutouts here on the side. Look at all that. There's like no deck here, but it's strong and light. You can also see they made some improvements here on the blunt plate. Blunt plate is much, much bigger and visible. So getting into blunt stalls, blunt slides, anything along those lines is going to be easy peasy on this deck. And final note, you can see the complete redesign of Envy's dropouts. They're actually significantly smaller than a lot of the other dropouts that I see on decks. I mean, if you look at this, the dropout itself is very, very tiny, which I'm sure there's a reason why, and I don't know that reason why, but I just wanted to call it out, that these are the smallest dropouts I've ever seen on a deck, and it's pretty sweet. You also have a brand new Envy fender here that comes pre-installed on the deck, and install grip tape. So you don't even gotta buy grip tape. It already comes with it. So that's pretty cool. I think I've ranted about all of the changes on the AOSv6, but let's run through general specs. ENVE AOSv6 comes 5.5 inches wide by 22 inches long. It features 15.3 inches of foot space, so that's from the head tube to the brake, so that's actual foot space that you have on the deck. Wheel compatibility wise, you can fit anything up to 125 millimeters, anything up to 30 millimeters wide, everything in between. You cannot ride 12 standard on these decks. You heard, you cannot ride 12 standard on these decks, but you can ride everything else in the world, just not 12 standard. Fender included, grip tape included. What more can you really ask for? I'm telling you right now that this is a huge step forward from ENVE, and I'm very, very happy to see it. This deck is completely different than the other ones, and I think it's a step in the right direction. So if you guys have been kind of wanting to try an ENVE deck out, but you weren't too sure just because there's so many other decks on the market, now is the best time than ever to give one of these a try, because this is the latest and the greatest that ENVE has to offer, and they're not pulling punches. I'm telling you that right now. Color-wise, you got black right here in front of me. Classic, can never go wrong. The holographic on the bottom. And of course, you got gray. Gray or black. I'm a big fan of the gray as well, but fairly simple colors. They might end up introducing more stuff in the future, more colors. I'm pretty sure that there are signature decks in the future as well. I mean, if this is the latest and the greatest deck, it's probably safe to assume that they'll drop signature decks at some point as well. So I guess stay tuned for that. But that is pretty much it for the ENVE AOSv6. I could blabber on about other things, but I want to relatively keep it short and sweet. This is a phenomenal deck. Good job, ENVE. Before we wrap up this video, let's quickly weigh the AOSv6. 4 pounds, 0.2 ounces. So let's just say 4 pounds on the dot. That is very, very light. Good job, ENVE. And so nobody can complain. We'll weigh this one too, just to make sure. 3 pounds, 15.8 ounces. Okay, 4 pounds, guys, 4 pounds. But with that being said, that's a wrap for all the ENVE product. All right, guys, with that being said, I think this brings us to the end of this episode of What's New in Scootering. We hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry it's been so long. Like I said, 2025 is gonna be our year, so stay tuned and make sure you're subscribed. Thanks to everybody that's riding for us. All the links for all of this product will be down below if any of you guys are interested. Check it out at TheVaultProScooters.com. And if there's any other product that you guys want us to feature in these videos, maybe that we didn't get around to this time, drop a comment down below. Let us know what you want to see. We'll make it happen. We want to wish you happy holidays, Merry Christmas from everybody here at The Vault, and let's get into 2025 together. Until then, have a good one.